Look around the room. Every color you can see is free. Nobody owns red. Nobody owns blue. They're just light bouncing into your eyes. Except that's not true anymore. A delivery company owns brown. A jewelry store owns one exact shade of blue. And one man owns Vantablack, the blackest black ever made, so dark it looks like a hole cut straight out of reality. And he will not let another artist on earth touch it. Somewhere along the way, we started putting fences around the rainbow, and almost nobody noticed. So how do you own something made of light? And which colors are already taken? Now your gut says this is insane. You can't own a color. And for most of history, the law agreed with your gut. Ask a lawyer in 1990 if a company could own a color and they'd laugh you out of the office. And then in 1995, the Supreme Court of the United States stopped laughing. Here's the fight that did it. A company called Qualitex made pads for dry cleaning presses, the padded boards your shirts get pressed on. And they made theirs a very specific green gold. A rival started selling pads in the same green gold. Qualitex sued. And it went all the way to the highest court in the country, over the color of a laundry pad. The ruling was unanimous, 9-0. A color, the court said, can absolutely belong to a brand, as long as it passes 2 tests. And those 2 tests are the whole game. Test 1. The color has to mean you, not look nice. Mean you. People see it and their brain says your name before they read a single word. You already do this. A truck rolls past, painted a certain brown. And before you read anything, your brain just says delivery. That brown is doing a job that words can't. So UPS owns it. But here's the trick. They don't own brown. They own brown for delivery. You can paint your house that exact brown. Your car. Your dog. The fence only goes around one little field. They're corner of the market. Which brings us to test 2. You have to prove it. And proving a color lives in millions of heads takes years. And a frankly stupid amount of money. Ask Cadbury. They wrapped their chocolate in the same purple for over 100 years. A century. If anyone ever earned a color, it was them. They lost. Their claim was written too vaguely. The predominant color, a rival pounced and the courts threw it out. 100 years of purple. Gone on a technicality. Because the line is weirder than you think. Coming up, why a shoe company owns red, but only sometimes. And how this whole thing ends with a grown man dipping his middle finger in the world's pinkest paint. Stay with me. First, the hard wall. You cannot own a color that's doing a job. Safety orange. The green of an exit sign. A color that has to be that color, for a reason. That's off the table forever, for everyone. The law calls it functional, and it's the leash on this whole system. Then there's the blurry edge. Christian Louboutin, the shoes with the bright red sole. They own that. A red sole on a heel legally means Louboutin. Except, a court bolted on one bizarre asterisk. If the whole shoe is red, the sole doesn't count. So Louboutin owns red on the bottom of a shoe. Unless the top is also red. In which case, suddenly they don't. The entire field of color law is held together with asterisks like that. But that's all companies and markets and lawyers. Now watch what happens when this gets personal. Meet the blackest black on Earth. It's called Vantablack, built for space tech. It swallows more than 99% of every bit of light that hits it. Coat something in it and your eyes just give up. It stops looking like an object and starts looking like a hole cut out of reality. And in 2016, one artist, Anish Kapoor, bought the exclusive rights to use it in art. One man, the blackest black ever made. Every other artist on Earth locked out. The art world lost its mind, and one artist decided to fight back. With pink. A man named Stuart Semple mixed the world's pinkest pink. Cheap. About 4 pounds, and he sold it to anyone who wanted it. Anyone. With one exception. To buy it, you had to tick a box swearing, and I quote, that you are not Anish Kapoor. So Kapoor got some anyway. And he posted a photo, his middle finger dipped in the pinkest pink aimed straight at the camera. The caption? 2 words. Up yours? Semple escalated. He mixed his own blacker than black paint. 2.0, then 3.0, and gave it to the entire planet. Except one man. The war over who gets to own a color is still going. Over black. And pink. Two of the oldest things in the world. So maybe you're thinking, fine, I'll mix some brand new shade nobody's claimed and I'm safe. And mostly yes. But look at what that actually means. Because here's the whole machine. Nobody, not UPS, not Tiffany, not Kapoor, actually owns a color. What they own is a shade. Inside one market that they spent years and millions teaching your brain to recognize, as long as that color isn't secretly doing a job. Miss any one of those four and you own nothing. You never owned the light. You rented a memory in someone else's head, which means the world around you is quietly fenced. The brown truck, the blue box, the red soul, little private plots on a map of the rainbow that you were never shown and never got to vote on. We took the most free thing there is, light, and we started putting up gates. Most of the rainbow is still open. For now. So, real question. If you could legally claim one color, fence it off, make it mean you, and stop the rest of the world from using it, which one would you take? I genuinely want to know. I'll be down in the comments.